What's going on, y'all? So we back again for another episode review. Listen, I tried to get it out yesterday, and I know y'all like, girl, what? No, let me tell you something. After that Love and Marriage DC video, and as tired as I was, I said, you know what? I'm not even finna do that because I really didn't like that Love and Marriage DC review video. Excuse me, because of the fact that I was tired and I wasn't giving the energy, and I just felt like I was just, I don't like giving half-ass stuff or whatever. So, I want to give y'all what y'all deserve, okay? So I said, you know what, let me not force it. I went to sleep when I came home. I didn't even watch it. I went to sleep when I came home, and I said, I got to do this right for y'all. Let me tell you something, because I'm actually enjoying this show. As much as it's making me mad, I am enjoying SWV's and Xscape Queens of R&B. I'm upset at the fact that, well, not necessarily upset, after seeing how these first two episodes are going. I understand the fact that this is only going to be one season, I'm pretty sure, okay? And this is a good talking point. It got the internet. Girl, my head is just, I had it up. I know y'all like, damn, Ashley, get it together. Girl, anyway, y'all like it? It's raggedy. I gotta get it done. But anyway, I feel better right now. Girl, let me just tell you something. I love the fact that this show, I was not expecting to be such a hit as it is, because when I tell you, once I get on the internet, or I should say Twitter, and we start talking about it, no matter if it's the day that it premiered, the day after, or even days after, it's still trending and getting traction on Twitter and everything. And so I love it. This is a hit, mainly because of the mess that's going on with the Scott sisters, and that is a shame. Truth be told, nobody else really has that much drama going on or that much mess going on so far yet in the show besides Latasha and Tamika. And mostly what it is Latasha's attitude that is turning and having like everybody discuss stuff. Let me just tell you this. That mama, oh my goodness, okay? Let's just get up into it, you know what I'm saying? So this, like I said, is SWV and Xscape's Queens of R&B. This is season 1, episode 2. Pray on it. I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. At one particular point, if I was in the room with Latasha, and Latasha was coming in with that energy and saying the stuff that she was saying, the way that she was saying, girl, she probably would have pinched her, popped her, or hit her. Something would have happened, and I would have just had to take the consequences for my actions, because sometimes, we're not trying to advocate for violence or whatever, but sometimes, girl, what is your problem? The thing of it is Latasha came on this show, and she is trying to play victim. And I really don't feel like she's a victim. I feel like she had a lot of the opportunities that everybody else had. And as we see what's going on, it's her attitude and the people that's around her that's, kind of stopping her or putting a stop to the things that she could have done. We'll get into that in a second. So let's pick up where we left off last week. Last week, the mama and Tamika got into it, okay? Because Tamika said, you sat there and you did nothing when I told you that Latasha took my money. Latasha and Rocky stole my money, and you didn't do nothing. You was on her side and all this stuff. Baby, I had to go back and rewatch it because I was looking at the comments and people was like, did you hear when the mama said that she was jealous of Latasha? And when I rewatched it, I said, oh my goodness, why would you do that? You already have this woman on here saying that you pick favorites, and it is so obvious who is your favorite. Okay, and to not even try to hear her out. You tried to make it seem like Tamika is the villain in this situation, and because she brought up, personal family issues that was going on that probably nobody else has heard about. That's what Tamika said. Tamika was like, my own daughter didn't even know what was going on. She never heard this part. And I know Tamika put up a video, and I didn't look at the whole video, but I did see the part where she said they took her checks and they still had to be paying taxes. And she didn't even tell her husband that it was her sister and her sister's husband that was taking her checks. cashing them things, and now they got to pay taxes on the royalties that they were not even given. I said, what? What? And then in this episode, she also said all of this was going down when she was pregnant with her other child, Armani, I think it is. She said the mama is up here acting like she don't know what was going on. And at this point, I believe 100% what Tamika is saying. Because the way the mama was reacting in a way of cut the cameras off. I don't want nobody to hear this business. I don't want it to get out or whatever. She said, cut them cameras off. Why you gonna do that or whatever? Why you acting like this? And if you hear it in her voice, sometimes you could tell when a person is lying or trying to cover. And that's how the inflection in the mama voice, I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I heard it when they was outside, okay? And the way that she was just trying to come for make it seem like Tamika was just being dramatic and, you know, why you gonna hurt your sister like this? And you know we didn't do that and she didn't do that. But when Tamika got in that confessional and she said, my mama knew what was going on. My mama sat there and let it happen. My mama basically made up an excuse for Latasha and said, the reason why, you know, maybe she needed the money, you know, and I'm sitting here like, if you needed the money, you come talk to somebody about it. You don't just steal somebody's money, okay? And then I'm sitting here like, Tamika said she was pregnant at the time. Don't you think that $30,000 would have came in handy for her if she was pregnant at the time with a whole new newborn? She got to get diapers, formula, cribs, clothes, all of that stuff, medical appointments and everything, doctor visits, and you up here talking about something, maybe they needed the money. Mama needed the money. Well, she was pregnant and she needed that money that was rightfully given to her and that was rightfully that she earned for herself and her family. I said, mama, mama, mama. And then when they had that little meetup, they was gonna meet up. I think they was at the candy factory, right? They was at the candy factory. And Tamika and them, they all met up, minus Latasha. Tamika, Candy, and Latasha. And, Tamika, Candy, and Tiny. They met up at Candy's Candy Factory, right? And when they sit down there, I'm laughing because I'm thinking about Tiny. Tiny is me. I'm so sorry. I said this in the first review, and I'm going to say it again. Tiny was laughing at the wrong parts. I said, is this a nervous laugh? Somebody said it was something else that was going on or whatever. She was laughing at Candy or something. I don't know. But either way, Tamika sits there and she tells them what happened, okay? She told them about the money. She told them about the confrontation and played them that voicemail that her mama left. Her mama basically blamed her and said, how dare you bring some mess up like this, knowing that it's not true, hurting your sister, and if you had God in you, you wouldn't do no mess like. When I heard that, if you had God in you, now let me tell you this. I am all here for God. I am all here for, you know, knowing and being one with God and, you know, whatever it is that anybody practice, okay? That's understandable. But when you use religion to try to make somebody feel guilty, when you use, this is what we're talking about and why people get turned away from religion, or I should say certain religions, Christianity and stuff like that, the church, I would say that. Because you got some people that are so holier than thou, and they would like to use that religion to go against somebody and make them feel bad and to use it in a judgmental way. And the fact that you would do that to your own child in a situation that I'm pretty sure, Miss Mama G, you knew what was going on and you knew that it was right. And the story in the history between Tamika and Latasha, it goes so deep because of the fact that, you know, she said a lot of the times when, and I seen this in some of the video that she was talking about as well, she said there's been times that she took up for Latasha and she done went to jail for Latasha. I said, hold up. I love my sisters. But baby, if you did it, I'm not going to jail for you. I'm sorry. Now, if I had to kick somebody's ass on your behalf and I got put in the slammer for a couple of days, I do that. I do that. But no, girl, if it's just, I said, what you do that you had to, what? I was really upset at that part. I was really upset. Mind you, you know this lady got all these kids. Well, she got at least 3 kids compared to your 1 I believe. But you know, I just feel like Latasha is very selfish at this point, and it's coming out. But you know, she using religion to if you had God in you, baby, that would have just made me say, no, ma'am. We gonna have. I love you, but I'm gonna have to love you from afar. Okay, that's just what it is, you know. And at this point, Tiny started laughing. I said, Tiny, stop. She said, and Tiny ain't got one of those laughs that be like, Tiny be like, I said, girl, it's like a cackle. It's like a country ass cackle. And I said, oh my goodness, this is a mess. So basically, y'all got to get this stuff together. They trying to make it seem like somebody made a comment and said, Xscape don't have a problem. It's Latasha that has a problem. If Latasha has a problem and she's within Xscape, then Xscape has a problem altogether because she's making it a problem. Because we see that Tamika, Tiny, and Candy got dark. My mama is texting me. Girl, my grandmama is out here telling her business. She is over it. See what I'm talking about? But anyway, you got the three girls in the group that can get along, but then you got this one person that is not, you know, like we're grown at this point. We're almost 50 years old and we still can't get it together. And now we got this other rift that's going on. And then you see that Tamika keeps saying, I miss who my sister used to be. Like they used to be ride or die with each other. She had this one scene where she met up with Lily and she was telling her what was going on. And the whole situation, and she said basically, and this is very telling, more so about the mom, okay, and the way that she raised her kids. Tamika went along with a lot of things that Latasha did, which probably caused her to be on the outs with certain people. We know the situation with Candy. She ain't really had no issue with Candy. She was just trying to stay by her sister's side and pick her sister's side and be loyal to her sister because that's family or whatever, regardless of the fact of if she knew that her sister was wrong, you know. And so her whole thing is, my mama loves my sister. She loves me, but she picks my sister over me. You know what I'm saying? She favors her. She's her favorite. That's who she's going to always go to. And so because I want that same amount of love, I'm going to go ahead and be on my sister's side with things. Because when I'm taking her side, what I'm doing and agreeing with her, then I'm getting that attention from my mama as well. But then when I go against that, it's like it's non-existent. I said, oh my goodness, I do not like when parents do that. And even if you want to put out there that you don't have a favorite or you don't do this and you don't do that, them kids that you have, if you have more than one, they will feel that when you are favoring one over the other, okay? And you're causing division, you know, and it's just, that's not good parenting if you ask me. And this is coming from somebody that's not a parent, okay? But I see the way how my mom is with us, and she had 3 kids, 3 daughters, and never not one time did she play either one of us against each other. Did she make it that, you know, you have to be on this person's side or be on the fraud with this one or whatever, in order for me to give you all my love and all of that, you know. And it was just really, really irritating to see that part. I really felt bad for Tamika crying. Like, Tamika was crying, like, eyes red crying, okay? Lily just like, this is the mama situation. You need to make up with your mom or have a conversation with your mother. And I just want them to look at SWV and see the way that they came out of the situations that they came out of, you know, because everything wasn't all good with SWV. They had their moments where they got into it as well, but I really don't think that it was this bad with them like it is with Xscape. And yes, you get up in these groups, everybody's going to have an ego, but you have to learn how to work with that ego, tone that ego down. And it doesn't help when you have other people that's outside the group that is telling you stuff and bigging your head up. And that's what's been going on with Rocky and Latasha. But let's get off of Xscape for right now. And let's get on to SWV. I love the stark contrast that they do have when they show them. We see Xscape coming together and we see them, it's always like, we got to come together and we got to fix this problem. We got to talk about this issue or whatever. Whenever we see SWV, They out here doing their thing and going back home to their family and working on their family life. Not group business, but family life. You got Lily, who was down there in Atlanta. You know, everybody's from, I believe, you know, Brooklyn or whatever. I may get that wrong, but either way, everybody is not where they started at when they first got into SWV. Taj moved to Virginia. Not Taj, Coco moved to Virginia. Taj is in Tennessee with her husband Eddie and her son Eric. And then you got Lily out there in Atlanta. And so they use Atlanta as the place where they come together when they talked about rehearsals and, you know, music and business and all of that stuff. And so they've been doing traveling. And I love the fact that when we talk about SWV, they're talking about the fact that they getting booked to do shows all over the world still. And truth be told, Xscape could have been one of those groups, okay? They got some classic songs, too, that everybody be out here singing or whatever, just like SWV. And they could have been on High Demand. And I get it that Candy doing all her businesses or whatever. But see, they let so much personal drama get in between them that it is coming between the business. And that is upsetting to me because we didn't see how many shows and documentaries or whatever about Xscape, and they still ain't got it right in 2023. Okay. But Lily, she's out there. Her sister comes in, Jeanette, who is the older sister. When their mother died in, I think, 95 or 96, she basically became the matriarch of the family. And, you know, Lily was talking about her upbringing and how, you know, basically they really didn't have anything. You know, she had to wear hand-me-downs and, you know, she never really had a bed. So once they got into SWV and they got their first check and stuff like that, she winds up getting her a king-size bed. Do you know, I seen on TikTok, it was this lady, this grandmother. She never had a room of her own. She always shared a room, and she never had a bed of her own. Her grandkids came through and got her a house and then put in like this big high bed for her. And the joy that oh my goodness, I was sitting there crying. I was like, it's really people that's out here that take for granted the minimal things like having a freaking bed. Now, truth be told, these mattresses and stuff is expensive. Girl, I got my stuff off of Amazon and it's been working fine for me. Okay, comfy as ever. I said, I wish I would spend thousands of dollars for a freaking mattress that probably gonna wear out in the next 3 years. Girl, I ain't got time for that. But I just had to think about that when I was talking, they brought up Lily and her situation. But let me just tell you this. Lily and her sister, Miss Jeanette, I had turned away and I was putting something down and I heard people talking and I thought it was the same person until I turned around back to the TV. And I realized that them are two different people. And they look just alike. I said, oh my goodness, the genes are strong. The genes are strong in SWV, okay? Because you see Jeanette and Lily, they look like twins to me, almost. You know, you can tell Jeanette is older, but, you know, they look like they could have been twins almost. And they sound literally just the same. Jeanette probably sounds just a little bit more raspier, but their voice is damn near identical. Then you get Taj and her son. Taj's son got her whole face with a little bit of Eddie up in there. Just a little bit, okay? He's 17 years old. And yes, I'm so glad y'all put the name of the... I knew I was not tripping when I said that Taj had a reality show. I will never forget, and it was on TV One. It's called I Married the Baller. Thank y'all for putting that in the comments. Because let me tell you something. That was a good show. That was a good show. I think it was one episode where something happened to the dog, like the dog got hurt, or one of them animals, I think it was the dog or whatever, and it was chaotic. Taj was down there trying to find the dog or whatever, and crying and everything. Girl, I was on pins, and he was like, oh my God, get the baby. It was really good. If y'all could find it, go ahead and watch it. It's probably on Tubi or somewhere, you know, because Tubi got Hollywood Divas on there, and I forgot that Tasha was on R&B Diva at one point, and she wasn't acting like this. She was not acting like this. Maybe she knew that she couldn't get away with acting an ass like she doing this on here with those people because those are different people and these are not people that she's been working with. That's probably what it was. And I liked her back then. I was so happy when she got on R&B Divas. It was a cute look for her, and she could have made that work for her. How come you didn't make that work for you? And I'm only bringing that up because it's gonna be something later on in the episode that really turned my stomach so bad. And it is like, Latasha, I did not expect to come on this show and to just be ragging on you like this. I really didn't, because again, like I said, you was my favorite. And to see you acting the way that you're acting, it's just, I'm just disappointed. I really am. But what else I was talking about? Taj, you know, she over there with her son. He's about to be a singer, or he is a singer. And, you know, they've been gone for a month or whatever. Mama, they said they was up in Rome, Africa, Asia, Australia, all that in the U.S. You know, they getting their money. They may not be able to or don't need to put out some new music because these people are paying buku money or whatever just to see them come back and sing their old stuff. I love it. Meanwhile, you got Coco out there with her mom and her son. All of them look like triplets. They look like triplets, okay? And I love the story about how Coco was saying her mom, you know, she's all about the church and God and everything, and she wasn't here for the secular music. They didn't listen to R&B music. And, you know, so when she grew up and she became a teenager, she started hearing it because their friends started listening to it. And then when she got signed to SWV, she had to lie to her mama in order to get in the group, to say that it was a gospel group or something like that. But then when it started, you know, signing the contracts or whatever, she had to go ahead and tell her the truth. No, baby, this is R&B secular music or whatever. And mama didn't come around to it until she brought her first car. I said, you know what? Sometimes it's just all that it needs, okay? Girl, you see the benefit of it, okay? God gave me this voice to get you this talent, to use this talent to get this money to get you this car, okay? Look at it that way. You know, it was funny to me. I love the way that the relationship between Taj and her son, you know, I really love that. And he wants to be a singer. She also has another son who is an emo rapper. And so I'm just loving it. Like, they putting out some talented ass kids. I said, all right, we see they got their stuff together, okay? And I love the little correspondence between the son and the grandma, whatever. Like, you want to be a singer, but you have to remember that you're 19 years old, and, you know, maybe things can change. So, you know, it just be aware of that, because when you was 12 years old, we thought you wanted to be a dentist, and then that changed, and now you want to be a singer. So you just never know. He's still young. He's still figuring out, and he do got a nice voice on him too. I love their little relationship. I can't wait to see next week's episode to see what it was that he was having a breakdown over, because I don't like seeing people cry like that, especially kids with their parents. And let me tell y'all, my little sister had a little breakdown yesterday. I was at work. Oh, excuse me, my nose itching. I was at work, and I was actually on the phone with my mom. My mama had to hang up the phone. She was like, girl, let me call you back because something is going on. My sister texted me and said my other sister had just broke out in tears. And I'm thinking that she breaking out in tears because, you know, finally she realizing the stuff that happened with my mama or whatever, and, you know, it's hitting her, and so she just had a little breakdown. Girl, no, that ain't what she had to break down over. She had to break down over the fact that, you know, she want more money and have a job that pays more, but they live. I said, y'all lived out there, y'all moved out there to Indiana, into the suburbs where it ain't that much transportation, and then the jobs that you picking, if you go ahead and get your car and all of that stuff, or go get your license, you know, that you was trying to get out here, it's like she wants stuff so fast, but it's not working as fast as she would expect. And I'm like, girl, that ain't how the world works. So now she's talking about something, she want to come back to Chicago. Can she come stay? I said, child, it was a mess. It was a mess. I said, and my little sister don't be breaking down crying like that. So I was just like, what is going on? Baby, y'all, this past week has just been a lot for the whole family, okay? So, we getting back on track, okay? We trying to get there. Meanwhile, what we need to get back on track is Xscape, okay? So, Tiny was over there at her lake house. Tamika come over there. And Tamika was like, girl, where the kitchen at? Because I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been up in here. Tiny, you ain't have to flex on us like that, okay? You ain't have to flex on us like that and just make us feel as poor as we are compared to you. She said, you know what, girl? I got like 5 houses or whatever, so I don't even know how to work the different appliances. I be forgetting. I said, what? 5? You got it like that? All right. You know, is this lake house by the lake, or is it just called a lake house? Because I wanted to see some water, you know. Give me some water or whatever. Give me a little boat on the outside, you know. But anyway, the girl's coming over there. And this time, everybody shows up. Everybody shows up, including Latasha. And they have a little sit-down conversation. And at this point in time, Latasha and Tamika have not spoken to each other. And you know, they want to talk about the business aspect of the group. And as soon as Latasha comes in there, her energy is off. Her energy is off, and you can tell when somebody is forcing it and trying to be fake about, oh, so what y'all up in here doing? Y'all drinking? Let me get y'all a drink or whatever, and get you a drink. That's what the girls were telling her. And so when she sat down, that's when that stankness really started coming in. When they started talking about business, and then Candy was like, you know, maybe we need to get a new manager because they have manager that is not working for them. And Latasha is listening to him, but she just has this on her face, like she's over it, and like, ain't this about a bitch? That's what her face was saying. Come to find out, her face was probably saying that because, as we find out, the management is people that are cool with Rocky and Latasha. So of course she's gonna feel some type of way. And I said, wow. And they was like, so you hear what we saying? And she was like, I hear you. So how do you feel about it? You know, I'm just listening. No, how do you feel about it though? I'm gonna have to pray on it. I said, what? She is her mother's child, okay? And then tried to, you know, she's bringing up the personal issues between Tamika and her. And truth be told, at this point, Tamika and her do need to work that out. And the way that she's acting, and then she had the nerve to say something about how we all got issues, we got to work out our issues in this group, and the type of people that gloss over the issues and no one wants to take accountability. And I said, Mama, you the main one don't want to take accountability. She goes into her confessional, and at one point, she just gets up and walk away. I said, what? Because Latasha is still irked at the fact that Tamika has not talked to the mom, and that Tamika disrespected the mother. Tamika needs to apologize to the mama, and once she make it right with the mama, then she can come make it right with her. And I'm sitting here like, so you just gonna exclude yourself and not take accountability, the word that you brought up, for any of your actions to make her feel the way that she felt in the way that she said those things, right? I said, get the hell up out of here, Latasha. You came up in there acting like you was the hot shit. And, you know, she did tell Rocky acting like, you know, I just hope everything is okay and y'all get back to, you know, how y'all used to be. And I don't understand how come my name is brought up in this. Let me just tell you this. I don't know the correlation, but y'all can try to find it. And I'm just throwing it out here. Latasha did say Rocky started off in the business. He used to work with R. Kelly. And y'all know how messy and sneaky and messed up over there it was. So the way that Rocky is moving, I just don't trust him at all. And, you know, it's just, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. What else wound up happening? She gets into her confessional and she started talking about, because at one point Candy was over there in the studio talking, you know, she doing some songs. I said, Candy, now stop playing. Either release the songs or not, because that song was kind of cute. It was kind of cute. I don't remember the melody, but when I heard it, it was kind of cute. Okay. You got A1, the music engineer, and the entire come up in there, and they trying to talk about what was going on in the meeting and all that stuff and what happened, and they need to figure out their issues. A1 is so he was like, so what happened at your group? She was like, my group? he said, I think that you're the only one in here in the group that was in the group, right? Baby, I died laughing for some reason. He be up in them shade room comments and everything, and it be funny. I said, oh, A1, is you? Let me not. He a little sassy sometimes. He a little sassy, and I be laughing. But, yeah, so they having a little conversation about that. And basically, you know, we get the back and forth about who did what to who. And Latasha trying to say that she feel like Candy got something against her, and she always had something against her because, you know, when they were singing on the songs or whatever, it came to a point where Candy had an issue with the fact that Latasha was always singing lead and that, this and that. And, you know, Latasha wanted to, you know, put out an album, and then she couldn't get her album out. But then next thing you know, Candy signs her solo deal, and she gets her album put out, and, you know, she finds that weird. Candy put out in a tweet and said, first of all, now you're trying to blame me for the reason why your solo stuff didn't come out when you tried to put your solo out before me. And you were signed to Def Jam, not Def Jam, but So Def. My solo deal was with Columbia, okay? So if you had an issue with your album coming out, you need to take that up with Jermaine Dupri, because that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm on a different label, and I'm not even worried about you. And this is what I'm talking about with Latasha playing victim. And it's like she's doing this revisionist history type of thing to make herself look even more of a victim, because you had prime opportunity throughout all these years to get your life together enough for you to get interest into people to try to sign you into things and to get you an album out or whatever. But for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. And you need to take that up with you and the people that's around you. Don't try to blame it on your group members, because Candy ain't had a song out, a single out in years, an album out in years. And within those years, you could have came out with something. You could have blown us away. But what was it that stopped you from doing it then? Now, all of a sudden that you got a little interest now on you, now you want to put this album out or whatever. And let me just tell you this, Latasha, this ain't going to feel well for you. This is not going to feel well for you at all. You know, you go to and have this little sneaky ass meeting with Motown Records down there, gospel division or whatever. This is not godly. Y'all talk about being all of God and everything, and you putting God first and all of this, and we grew up in the church or whatever. This is not godly what you're doing. You have a very nasty attitude, a very nasty type of aura about you and a personality about you. You are not personable at all. Like Tamika said, I don't know what happened to you, and I want the old you back. Because back in the day, I could relate. This one right here, I just don't understand it. And then, did y'all see when she was being asked a question in her confessional, and then Rocky came over there and was just whispering stuff into her ear, and then the producer was like, so what you whispering to her? And somebody said, or either her or him said, what's the stuff that she needs to say? I said, oh. When I see Tamika, Latasha and her husband in these scenes, especially on this episode, even when they was doing a little anniversary breakfast or whatever it was, I don't know, it just didn't seem like, I didn't feel love. I felt like he looking at this like a business thing, like this is more of a business relationship, and this is his bread and butter. I just don't know. Like, when I see Rocky and when it comes to Latasha, it feels like he's just like, I see a little bit of dollar signs that I could try to milk up out of this. You know what I'm saying? So let me stroke her ego a little bit. Let me make her feel like she's bigger than what she really is. Let me get her this gospel album deal and all this stuff. Now, when they went down there and she actually sang on the spot, and the way he got so extra hype and everything, I was like, calm the fuck down. That was just like too extra for me. Now, I know, let me tell you something. I get into a relationship with somebody, baby, I'm going to be your cheerleader. You're going to be my cheerleader. We're going to be each other's number one. But, baby, I ain't doing all of that, because I know my baby, what my baby is capable of, and you the one that needs to show and prove, okay? But he was just putting a little bit too much on it. He put 100 on 1,000. And I just was like, girl, what is this, okay? I said, you did that like you ain't never heard her sing. And I get it, but it was weird. Their relationship just don't work for me. He don't have a trustworthy face. And the way that, you know, Latasha interacts with him is almost as if it feels like a daddy-daughter type of situation. Like, I'm the authoritative figure, and I have to, and she has to listen to him, and she can't come back at him. I don't know. It's just a weird type of situation. But them sneaking around, that just ain't never gonna work. That's just never gonna work, and that's just never gonna be right. And at this point, if they can't, Xscape can't figure out what's going on with them, either let the group go or vote Latasha out, okay? Because the people at the record label trying to say, so what you gonna do with Xscape and all this stuff? Girl, ain't no more Xscape or whatever with them, you know, with Latasha. Latasha trying to make her exit, and that's just what it is. And truth be told, Latasha, the way that you, God don't like ugly. Since you all about the church and everything, God don't like ugly, okay? And the way that you acting right now, and the way that you going about things right now, it's gonna turn around on your ass. It's gonna turn around on your ass, because it's already doing that right now. You know, you got this deal. People know that you got, you know, an album or something that's supposed to be coming out, but then they also tuning in and they looking at this and seeing how you're acting. And it's not a good look. It's not a good look. I would have said, please exit out all my scenes, or I'm suing y'all ass. I would have turned this stuff down. But anyway, that was episode 2. I am enjoying the show. I'm mad that y'all really confirmed and said that it is just 6 episodes. Girl, we only got 4 more episodes, which means what, next month is going to be the last episode? Oh, I'm so mad. But anyway, y'all tell me how y'all felt about this episode. And I will see y'all later.